It looks like the year has started with you stripping things down.
It did. I decided I was going to take away the brassica cage, the makeshift one I put up the year before.
The former turkey pen.
The former turkey pen, yeah. So decided to take that down because gardening naturally had given us a new walk-in fruit cage or brassica cage or something. So I could take that down and put that arched one up. But I wasn't very good at putting it up on my own.
You did seem to have a bit of difficulty actually trying to get it, hold all 18 different sections of it at the same time.
I did. Good job I've got a sense of humour.
Yeah, and me.
Oh dear. But when we were making this together and putting it together, well, apart from the fact it was a bit, well, me being a bit whatever morning of day of the week it was, it was Sunday morning, it actually went together okay.
It did, yeah.
So yeah, I think any glitches were much more about me being not very good at DIY.
I suspect it's a combination of all sorts of bits and pieces.
But look, we were friends in the end. I'm going to put a layer of cardboard. It's only a single layer, but there is particularly unpleasant thistle there, so I'm covering that over. And on this side, there's quite a lot of couch grass, which is, I would like to say it's the bane of my life. To be honest, there are worse things in life, but it is a nuisance. However, I do like it when this happens. This cardboard is exactly the right width to sit in this compost bay. So I've been showing Hugh what I'm doing out here to develop this extra area in the market garden and in particular the compost heap that I've been building.
I think that's amazing, and it's something that I'm doing back home as well, just having a few different compost sites. As you're doing, you're building 2 bins, you mentioned maybe building a 3rd.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that.
Be good. It's exciting. And then when Storm Dennis came through, which was absolutely fierce, and we had a mini tornado, and our weather app actually said tornado, went through the yard. I don't think it got this far down the garden. I think it was quite a small one anyway. It has torn it out of the ground pretty much completely. I'm so sad. I'm so sad about this old tree going. It's probably somewhere between 50 and 60 years old. It's just, or maybe even older. It's just a beautiful tree, but it is horizontal and it's fallen over. So it's landed on this damson over here. So that's what stopped it from falling right onto the ground. Which means the ducks can still get underneath it and we can still get underneath it to take it apart when we need to. So for the next few months I'm going to leave it and let the bits that are growing see if they will grow or not, and then if it gets as far as fruiting, after that we will take this out. But I don't want to be without any of these lovely plums, and very kindly, our friends over at Direct Plants have sent me a new plum tree to plant in a different spot in the garden. Right, let's go and find the tree. So I've got my tree, and I've also got some mycorrhizal fungi to put onto the roots as I plant it. So it may look like it's at a jaunty angle, but that is to protect it from the winds that come across. So we'll check back in a few months' time when no doubt the wind will have straightened the tree to vertical, for now, I'll go and get it some water. There we go. Now I'm moving the cane. If I can't feel much give below me as I'm pushing, then obviously I'm not going to get the tubing in very far, so I'm being a bit flexible about where they go. I really enjoyed making this. It was a really useful thing to do, and it was all done from recycled materials.
Which is the best way.
Yeah. And it is just a case of sliding the tubing over the cane and pushing down. So this is just the loose end, and I've just got an engineering brick. These are quite heavy. Heavy duty beam frame that we put up
3 years ago?
Yeah, has lasted really well. And this one lasted until the really heavy winds came in October, and then it just came down completely.
Yeah, the December winds finished off the last couple of struts, didn't they?
Yes, absolutely. So my next task is to take the fresh grass clippings and just pile them onto the potatoes. I'm hoping that ducks will behave. So, can it really be this simple? Well, yes it can. And this beam frames works really well.
Yeah, that's going to be there long after we've departed the planet, I should think.
It's been, I'm quite tempted to grow roses over it this year, or clematis or something, but not beans, to actually make
give it something different.
Yeah, but flowers I think might be really nice.
It would make it a bit of a feature, wouldn't it? Yes,
and it would shift the emphasis of the angle of the garden a bit as well. Well, I can't tell you how pleased I am with this. I put those courgettes out about the 3rd week in May, and there were lots of places suffered from a really late frost this year, so I'm so pleased that they didn't get caught by it.
Yeah.
Look at this beauty. Masses of little stars in a, not quite a globe, a sort of 3/4 globe. Doesn't quite go around to the bottom, but it's absolutely lovely. And I've put it with this very dark, it's like a cow parsley, and this is another one of them. It was a plant that was recommended by Monty last year on a programme, and I found 3 tiny little plug plants being sold on that very well-known auction site. So I have 2 in this border and 1 in the cottage border. This bed has 2 different mulches on it. This one is duck bedding, and unlike chicken bedding, this is mild enough to be able to put straight onto the beds. So you can just put it on and it will be fine. And the other thing I've got, which just went on this morning, is pondweed.
Side by side, our fears are done. All the good times
So they're coming out nice and clean, which makes life easier in the kitchen. Some of them, I mean, they've all tasted fabulous.
Yeah, but they've been very, very varied in size and quality of actual, you know, the ones that we've been able to eat have been great, but there's been an awful lot that weren't edible.
There were fewer this year that were green, but there were an awful lot of plants that got caught by blight this year.
I'm presuming you're in there somewhere.
Well, I could be, but I might not be. Hello, sweetie. Hello. Do you just love the water, do you? Well, it's a hot day today, isn't it? Yes. So this was
Post-social distancing.
Post-social distancing, so yeah, very socially distanced gardening when we were allowed to travel again.
Yeah, we had and he was our official bubble, wasn't he? At the time?
Hugh bubbled with us, yeah.
I won't throw them in.
I've lifted one plant and I can see about 15 potatoes about the size of an egg.
Oh right.
And they're about the size of an egg.
15?
Yeah, about this sort of size.
What? Oh, look at that. Oh. Now this, yeah.
So that was
amazing, Liz.
That was okay, but even so, we were really careful about keeping a distance.
Oh wow.
And it really made gardening not as much fun. I'm really pleased to be able to say that my first book, Grounded, will be published in February, and it explains how and why I end up growing so much of my own food. And if you want to pre-order a signed copy of that, I'll leave a link on the screen and in the video description. It was amazing how muddy it got so quickly this autumn, wasn't it? It was just, it went from dry to quagmire.
Well, yeah, but that was a lot of the time you were writing your book, so you probably just didn't notice the change.
Well, maybe. Good morning. Good morning, girls. Here we go. So the ducks live in two separate houses, and each morning I let them out. I give them fresh water, although that's supposed to be going in their bucket. What's going on here? Good morning, everybody.
And of course, at the end of 2020, not only are we in lockdown, but poultry are as well.
Yeah.
And I think they're even more hacked up with it than we are.
I think so. Let's get these moved.
We've had a really good squash harvest.
We have,
It was quite a heavy squash harvest as well, as I recall. I don't know how we moved that quickly.
Well, magic. So next year, more of the same.
But different.
And so, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've got planned for today, I hope it's a good one. And I also hope you'll join me again next time.
Bye.